The first thing you should know about my friend Mrs. Filholm is that we met more than 10 years ago when she taught English at my high school. She was never my teacher, but she and her counterpart, the one who actually taught me, planned the entire AP English curriculum together. It was the first time the two taught AP English, and they had large shoes to fill. The previous teacher had a reputation for being tough and demanding, which translated into very high scores on the AP tests. Mrs. Filholm, intending to continue the tradition of success, assigned 13 novels for summer homework. We were meant to read all of the novels and prepare a CIA-style dossier, including notes, worksheets, character lists, and an essay for each book. It was a monster of a task. With 1 week left of the summer holidays, I had read and completed the reports for 11 of the 13 novels, which was a small miracle, and much further than anyone else in the class had made it. Knowing that my classmates were much worse off than I approached Mrs. Filholm to ask how the situation would be handled. Not only was Mrs. Filholm unimpressed by my heroic efforts, she also showed no sympathy toward me or my classmates when she assured me that any late work would be marked incomplete and graded accordingly. The next thing you should know about Mrs. Filholm is that last week she chastised me for taking liberties with the structure of these openings that play at the beginning of this podcast. Even after all of these years, she's still monitoring my work with a critical eye, and I still resent it.
Sorry, not sorry. The first thing you should know about my friend Andrew is that he considers himself an interloper. His small talk skills and genuine interest in everything mean he can fit in just about anywhere, and he does, even in places and with people where he technically doesn't belong. He starts like a fish out of water, but soon he's swimming right along with the others, blending in, unnoticed, part of the scene. The next thing you should know about Andrew is that he's not only an interloper, but a fraud. Andrew isn't even his real name.
Very nice.
It's true.
You called me out.
I didn't really call you out. I like that you go by your middle name. That's the only thing there. But it is funny.
I'm a fraud. Welcome to Half My Age, a weekly show in which a 25-year-old adult and a 50-year-old child help each other make sense of the world.
I remember when you were in pottery class, you would come over, you took pottery class with the pottery teacher, and I was still teaching English there. Then I taught pottery after that a little bit. And I remember figuring out that JAB on the bottom of the pots was you.
That's right.
I didn't know that at first because I had not had you in class, as you have aforementioned. So normally you would know that because that's how it would come up.
It's always been a small point of pride that my initials make a word.
Yeah, that's good. I remember somewhere along the way in my life hearing some cultures that believed, I really don't even know where this is from, that it was good luck or, sort of fortuitous to have your baby, and that their three initials made a word both forward and backward.
Oh, a word forward and backward. So,
okay, my friend has a daughter whose first name is G, and her middle initial is A, and the last name is B. So it's both ways, gab and bag. It's not very good words back and forth, but that's words both back and forth.
Sure, somehow you got to get your luck in there. Mm-hmm. And if you need to be a gab bag, that's just fine.
My son's initials spell ALF, which is fine, and he doesn't really know what ALF is. Do you, from the television program?
That Muppet-looking thing?
Yeah.
I never watched it. I think that was just a little bit before my time.
Yeah, probably right. And I didn't either because it was like when I was in college and beyond, so I wasn't watching.
Was that kind of South Parky in that it looked like it was meant for kids and that it was puppets, but it was really an adult show?
Yes, I think that's right. Not South Parky probably, but yes, it was definitely an adult show, primetime. And the puppety thing was just odd. Yeah, that's a weird. We should go back and look at that, what Alf is about. Anyway, his initials spell Alf, which I've always been like, oh, sorry about that. But Alf is not so much in the zeitgeist for people to notice that. But then I suppose backwards it spells the abbreviation for Florida, FLA. That's the old school abbreviation. So he's got that going for him.
He's coming home soon, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Next week.
Next week? Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
That's going to be great having him around.
Yeah, we don't know how long he's going to be here for because he has some other big plan to get right back to France and study French some more. But we get to have him home for a couple of weeks at least. And I have a lot of projects for him to do at the Dollhouse.
I bet there's a few things at your new house that need doing.
Oh, my goodness, there sure are, Andrew. So, hey, you have opened this up to viewer mail. So maybe someone will write in and tell us on our Twitter account. So. We don't have a Twitter account, but
We don't have a Twitter account. Basically, I just created a little email address where people can send us stuff, hma@slova.app. Slova.app is my business that I set up for consulting. So it was, I had a domain handy. It seems like an opportunity to use it.
That's not the easiest to remember email address, but that's all right. It's like a firewall built in. It's short. That's true. You can say it, and maybe no one will remember it, but maybe we don't want them to.
But if they can't remember it, they can always find it. Probably from here on out, it will always be in the show notes.
Yeah, and always at halfmyage.show.
Sure.
Okay, so what's up? What do we want to talk about? What do you got?
I want to ask you about your new house.
Yeah, boy.
So you've been in there for a week, 2 weeks?
I've been in there for a week.
Mm-hmm. But you've been busy. You've had a busy week at work.
I had a really crazy busy week at work.
How much have you unpacked? Does it feel like home yet? God. Or you feel like you're camping?
It feels so much like home.
Oh, yeah?
Because I had my bed set up, my beautiful bed from day one, and I can live there.
And you ordered an internet mattress, and you didn't say what it was. Do you like it?
Yeah.
So far, so good?
So far, totally so good. And I covered, secret, because those are foam mattresses, Mm-hmm. Which worries me a little bit, because I'm a very dense person. I'm not kidding. I make...
So you need a very dense foam.
I make grooves in mattresses. I sleep kind of curled up, and so there's always like a hollow, like a deer lay there. You know how you can find deer in grasses in the morning where they lay? It's like that. So those foamy mattresses worry me a little bit, but I also bought a topper that's sheepskin. Sheep fur, wool.
Is it real?
Yes.
Is that too hot?
No, it's the opposite. Because as we have discussed in this program, natural fibers, everything. So, no, it keeps you cool and keeps you warm. Mm-hmm. No, it really is. That's why people have worn fur since forever.
Because but they wear it in like Russia and we're talking about Inuits here.
When it's cold, in the past few days, I was real glad to have something that warm. And then I'm telling you, when it's cool in the summer, that stuff, it's beautiful.
Keeps hot things hot and cold things cold. How does it know?
I know. It's amazing. But that really helps because it also makes it just sort of sturdier. No, I like the bed a lot. I really like it. And so, no, it has felt like home enough. Mm-hmm. It has felt sort of sad that I can't be there more. I've had to be at work a lot. And I kind of resent really being here with you right now.
Wow.
Wow.
My opening was about how I resent you, and now you resent me. And it turns out this is not a podcast about multiple generations being cooperative and getting along. It's just about how much we
ingredient
make
is
each other
resentment.
angry.
No, I do not resent being with you and having conversation with you. I just really want to be in my house. It's fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun to be there. And okay, so how much unpacking have I done? Oh my gosh.
We're supposed to be recording there right now.
We technically could. I recorded something there for a voiceover job last night by throwing a blanket over my head. I do not have... It's going to be good. I bought some soundproof curtains, Andrew. Mm-hmm. And I've got some egg crate, mattress topper, the synthetic kind, that you use on walls and windows when you're making a soundproof studio. We could have done it, but it's a lot up there. Oh, my God. It's... Jeez Louise, I feel like I have done so much unpacking, and then you look around and go, oh my God, there's so much more to do. I still don't really know where my clothes all are. Now, beautiful thing. My friend Kim, whom we have discussed many times on this program, she is a kitchen and bath designer, and she came over for many hours on Saturday and put my kitchen away. Did you see it after that? You did, right?
Your kitchen looks good. You've got these really cool drawers they slide out in two parts. Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. I don't know how. I would not expect drawer technology to change a lot in 10 years or however long it's been since.
I think drawer and closet technology is a big and constantly changing industry. Isn't that something?
And right now it's at its peak.
Maybe.
So much new stuff going on.
Well, I do have drawers. I mean, it's all very IKEA in my kitchen and, whatever. It's great.
I love IKEA.
Yeah, me too. So Kim came over and put my kitchen away, and it wasn't, partly because it's this modern kitchen that has stuff like that, and it's tiny, and it's very vertically placed because that's smart in a small space, right? You use every inch. So I have to have a step stool in every room of this house to reach things. I mean, it's just true. I have a step stool in every room, and I carry it around. I mean, I just move it around. So, because it's a tall house, the Dollhouse.
Well, that's funny because it's not.
No,
it's probably just got standard height everything. But you are you're vertically challenged.
I'm vertically challenged, and So anyway, she came over and really had to. I mean, it was cool. She took out a stool. She put on slippers. to get comfortable.
You ladies in your slippers.
I know, it was funny that she did that. I'm like, she hasn't heard yet. It like hadn't come out or whatever, and she's not listening that I have podcasting slippers. So she came, I mean, she really sat there on a stool and like thought about it and really, oh man, it's cool to see somebody who organizes well, you know? It's not necessarily my best characteristic, like spatial relations like that. I don't always see how I could be doing something. However, you saw my closet. Now it's been changed a little bit, just made some things on Kim's recommendation more ergonomically sensible, made better use of the space. But I do have the coolest way to finally store my black skirts.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You've got only black skirts. Well, I've got them hanging. It's like a pants rack, probably like a gentleman's trouser hanger. And so it's got like fingers coming out. And on each finger is hanging a black skirt. And so I can see it and I can reach it and they don't get tangled and amongst each other. And my son George came over and said, it looks like a superhero's closet because it's just an all black skirt. Cool. So yeah, I'm doing that. I mean, I haven't even 1 minute touched any of the unpacking of like art supplies and office stuff is still a real scene. But my bedroom is great. I got a lot to do. But I'm taking all of next week off to do it. I mean, I have furnace guy coming. I have electrician coming. Oh my God.
And you had kiln guy show up.
I had kiln guy come.
You're moments away. You're an electrician away from having a working kiln again, right?
Yeah. Well, and a plug. He's going to come and install a different plug. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Long story there, but yes, I'm close. Like by maybe Sunday afternoon, I might have a working kiln, and that's cool. But like, I don't have anything to fire right now. You know, I gotta get everything else set up. But it does feel just lovely to see that kiln sitting there in the back of the garage. She's just shiny and ready to go. That's cool.
Have you met any of your neighbors yet?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Good neighbors.
Yeah, I've only met one neighbor. I guess, really. But she lives next door. We talked about her in a previous episode, but I think it was cut. She is a 79-year-old woman who has literally lived in that house her entire life.
Wow.
She was adopted by the couple that lived there. Of course, she's told me this. And so then her parents were older and they died when she was young, and she got the house, and she has raised, I think she said 5 generations there have been, like, not include. I mean, she's included in that. She's the second or third.
Wow, so that house has been there forever.
1928. Mm-hmm. And I got a tour of it yesterday, and it's like 3 times the size of mine. It looks identical to mine from the outside, but it actually, they made an attic room. It must have been bigger. It's definitely bigger footprint. It's the full basement. Amazing. So then, I mean, she raised children there and grandchildren there, and I cannot wait to pick her brain about watching that changing neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in an up-and-coming neighborhood, as we have discussed, and one of the highlights 3 blocks away from my house is a closed-down nudie bar.
A nudie bar?
I don't know what to call it without being super offensive. It's shut down, which feels good to me because, you know, it's something cool. Is probably at Starbucks is going to go in there soon. But, I mean, that is happening in that neighborhood. The old crappy stuff that part of that avenue was famous for is kind of shutting down. A lot of seedy motels, that kind of thing. I want to talk to her about, like, what was it like being a high school student or a college student or whatever, or when there was a fully operational nudie bar. You know what I mean? She grew up 2 blocks away from that. I'm going, oh gosh, it's really...
It was probably nice to have her job so close to home.
Yeah. She's a badass, and I am already her friend, and I love having her as a neighbor. It's going to be good, man. She's amazing. Good. She's amazing. I mean, just like so with it and fierce, and also a single woman, living there alone now for the past 10 years since her husband died. So she said to me yesterday, we're all lit up at night. We look like Las Vegas. And it's true on our block. It's a pretty light block and all of that. But both of us have all the floodlights and all of that because single women living alone. Lots of security doors going on there. So that's nice to have that friend. I mean, she came over in the middle of the terrible windstorm. Branches were coming down and ice. And she came over and checked on me and had the man she hires to shovel her walk shovel mine. It's not much of a walk, but it was nice to have it done.
Yeah, that's nice
front.
of her.
So nice. And let's see if I can talk about this and protect operational security. Another former student of mine has a father who is a Denver police officer. Mm-hmm. And his area of Denver is my neighborhood. And he thinks it's a little rough for Mrs. Filholm to be living all alone. And there has been noticeable squad car presence in the neighborhood, and he's going to come by and do a security check. And I feel very much like DPD is on notice that there is precious cargo in that neighborhood, and I cannot tell you how good that feels. What a lovely thing. Look at those students and
Have
other
you ever
friends.
considered that maybe there's a cop car on your street, not to protect you from the bad people, but to protect all your neighbors from you?
Rude. Bruh. Fine. Why? Protect them from what? The banana bread I might make for them?
That crazy lady in the pink glasses.
Yeah, crazy lady in the pink glasses. Maybe, Andrew. I don't know. Feels like... Actually, I think there are probably cop cars on the street because that's where the action is. And it's a bad neighborhood. But, and that was really like, he was made aware of it by another friend at the high school where you went and I taught. And it just feels like that. Tomorrow I'm going to a wedding of one of our favorites.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. One of your classmates. So boy, isn't that nice that keeps coming back. You high school students, it was a Catholic high school. And when I would get really, really frustrated, when we all would, with you idiots, we were reminded because it was Catholic school and we had a particular charism and a particular thing. Anyway, St. John Baptist de La Salle, in some of his writings, promised that the teachers, the instructors, that the prayers of your students, that's what's going to get you through those pearly gates. And I would actually try to find some solace in that. Like, all right, there is some... And the truth is, like, in active ways, it continues to bless me. And isn't that a nice thing?
It is a nice thing. It's when it's nice to know that there are people in the world who are looking out for you, especially people who are, professionally tasked with your safety.
Yeah, right. I know. Doesn't that feel like I'm so special?
Mm-hmm. And it's also nice to have those people in your life who care enough to keep in contact and let their father know. I know. Where you've moved and that you may...
Yeah, I think that one came from another staff at the high school. But yes, via the student. Oh my gosh, I know. So nice. That's right. Exactly. Enough people are concerned. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm doing this thing, buying a house all on my own. So not. So totally not alone. My friends and family wouldn't let me rent a moving truck. We had a bunch of trucks and a bunch of young men and old men, and not even a bunch of it. We just did it piecemeal. And we got it done. Almost all my stuff is there in boxes. Every day, every night when I get home, I spend my little bit of free time when I've had such a busy work week, unpacking, organizing something, and then it feels like, okay, we're getting there. And then the next day, you got to kind of tear, it's messy.
You eat an elephant one bite at a time.
I was just thinking that on the way here. It's just one bite at a time. And I want to do it all at once, as I do. Next week will be good because I have that to focus on. I also have some other, you have a week off like that and you start going, I need to go to the eye doctor. I need to, make a bunch of appointments. That's going to feel annoying to me. I just want to be at that house.
Mm-hmm. It is frustrating that you've got so many other things to do right now.
It really is. Yesterday, I shoveled the back so that Kiln Guy could get from the house to whatever and not have to trudge through, honestly, 8 inches of heavy snow. Mm-hmm. We did have some branches come down. I have a situation on the north side of my house with gutters. It's another thing I have to put on my list next week, have the gutter people come over. Because I've got a kind of treacherous situation. It's icy on the north side of the house. And so I spent a lot of time shoveling. I'm tired for that, too. I really a little bit beat up. Moving is hard work.
That's funny. You've been working hard at work and at home.
I know.
And I've been a little ill. I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched The Green Book, the Academy Award for Best Picture. Super good.
Was it?
I strongly recommend it. And I think that should be homework when you find time in the next year, because I'm sure your moving will take you a little while, and then you'll have to write a picture book, and you'll have to do all these other things. But when you have a spare moment of free time, you should absolutely watch that movie. It's very good.
I've heard a lot of critique on that movie.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. What have you heard about it?
I don't want to talk about it, but I do want to watch it. I'm going to put that on my list faster than later. Where did you purchase it?
We watched it on the Comcast app.
Okay, I have that now. Mm-hmm. You want to know something else cool that I signed up for, Andrew?
What did you sign up for?
I think this is cool. It's called, okay, so I just changed my address with the post office officially, right?
Oh, do you get the scans of your mail?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Hello. Do you get it too?
My girlfriend does.
I love this. It's called Informed Delivery Daily Digest, coming to your mailbox soon. Pictures of my mail. And you know what? This is great because one of them is like about my local records office, right? This has something to do with buying a house. And I live in a neighborhood where I noticed the woman next to me has a locking mailbox, and she's got a big note on it to the postman, like, put it all the way in here. That's why I have a locking mailbox. So I'll bet that happens. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it lets you know if any packages are arriving today or soon via U.S. Postal Service.
That's fantastic.
It seems real cool.
I think there are a couple different iterations of Amazon products where they wanted to be able to leave packages in a lockbox on your step or in the back of your car or in the garage or inside the front door. And I think that mail theft right now is a huge problem, not just in bad neighborhoods, but in good ones too. It's a real issue.
Anyway, that was a cool service that I signed up for and didn't really know what it meant, but I wouldn't have known it existed except for the post office told me because I was changing my mail.
That is cool. I think that's so neat that the post office is catching up with all of the other. I mean, the tracking codes for Amazon and UPS have been great with the multiple times daily updates, and now it's cool to see that you can do the same thing for dumb letters.
Yeah, gosh, that's amazing. How often have you had to forward your address?
I don't change my address.
Just use permanent addresses, mom and dad.
I use mom and dad for a long time. I use my house now.
Oh, right. You have
I still don't get mail at this apartment.
None.
Just because I don't.
I honestly, it feels like such a pain that I was sort of like, I'll just pick my mail up at the homestead for the rest of my life. It feels too much, But we'll see. Then I thought that's sort of insane. I mean, because now I'm in that mode of, oh God. I mean, mailing address versus billing address. Of course, my billing address is all, oh my God, yuck.
Well, I think I've got a fear that something's going to slip through the cracks, but it's much more likely that my parents or my brother don't tell me that they received a piece of mail than it is something goes to the wrong address.
Yeah. My point is I'm going to have to get in there and change my billing address for all my cards and my bank. Oh my God. Because in the
it's like eating an elephant. You do one at a time.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. I have to switch the registration on my car. That's gnawing at me.
And you're fortunate that the address you were using is still occupied by someone you know.
Totally. Exactly right. And that's right. I always have that as backup. So that's great. And there's a wedding to go to this weekend, which is a fun way to spend time. But honestly, I'm not going to be there partying all night long. I'm going to want to get home.
It's not really wedding season, I wouldn't imagine, right?
I know.
In my mind, when it all happens in the summer, right? This is kind of unusual, especially after
Andrew,
a big
people
snowstorm.
Get married all the days of the year. They didn't know there would be a snowstorm.
No, but it just feels very...
it feels likely in Colorado that you're going to have weather in March. It's the day before St. Patrick's Day.
That's probably better than the day after St. Patrick's Day when everyone's hungover.
Yeah, right. I part of that family is Irish, so that may be part of it. I mean, really, I don't know for sure. It doesn't seem like their wedding is branded with shamrocks or anything. Because I could see doing that. Anyway, no, it'll be fun. It'll be a nice place to spend some time and see some former students. But as I said...
And their prayers are the ones that are going to take you to heaven.
That's right. So it's going to be a good weekend.
You got some work
around.
to do. You got to go schmooze those former students.
Schmooze them and remind them your prayers, kids. It's all on you.
You got to go and make them like you.
My broken soul. It's all on you. You have to redeem me. So anyway, no, I'm really liking living in that house. I'm so annoyed with cold weather because I want to get out there and make Clay Beach happen. Garage door. Have to put in that garage door. Oh my God.
You got a lot of to-dos.
Jeez.
The burden of homeownership. I didn't know anything about it before I bought my house, and I quickly learned just how many little things need to happen in a house in order to keep it running.
Yeah.
And all of it's miserable.
I know.
I don't enjoy a lot of the keeping house kind of tasks.
I have mixed feelings about them. I don't know. I feel differently about it. There was a certain amount of, I was out there shoveling, knowing I had to get this done and didn't really have time for it. I was rushing, but it was, I don't know. There's something, it's something about it just being mine that doesn't feel so awful. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still a lot. And like I said, I've had a ton of help. So I'm decorating a little bit in my bedroom. I have, like, where I place my art is very important to me and very interesting because I don't have as much space, obviously, as I've had before. So I really have to do that thing. Does this bring me joy? Like, do I love this enough to put it on my wall? Also, the walls at that place are, like, nice enough that I don't have to put anything on the wall. And in the past, I've kind of been like, I got to hang a thing there because there's a crack in the wall or whatever.
Right.
There's been a little bit of that. So that's kind of fun, placing things.
I've got an art question. As you decorate your new house, I think a couple episodes ago we were talking about a metal rooster. And there was a debate as to who gets to keep the metal rooster. Mm-hmm. Where did that end? And, I mean, do you have a metal rooster?
I left the metal rooster right where it was because Tal kind of wanted it. Not enough to fight over it. Not that it was ugly at all. We both admitted it looks pretty great right there. Not sure where I would put it in my New York. I can find a place. I'll get a rooster if I want a rooster. I did bring the 3 white metal roosters. They're small.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know those ones?
How many metal roosters do you own?
5. Because I have those 3 white ones that are identical that I got at Hobby Lobby or somewhere, like on a huge sale after we got the big giant metal rooster that was colorful. I got these 3 that were white, and literally they were like $4, and I got them, and I was going to do as a joke, go put them in our friends' yards who were making fun of our rooster, because people were driving by and making cock jokes a lot when you have a metal rooster in your yard at first. And I was going to go put those roosters in their yard, and then I went, I like these metal roosters, so I kept them. So now I have those 3 in the front of my house, and we have one more that I spray painted copper to go with our gutters when we put on the new roof at the old house, but that one's still at the old house because it matches the house. So I don't have the metal rooster, and that's fine with me right now also because I don't know how it's all going to go down out there. I got to wait for those flowers to come up, and we'll see. Maybe I will want a metal rooster. Maybe I will want a big concrete dinosaur. I don't know what's going to look good back there. We're going to have to find out.
I want to know, we often talk about economics.
We really do.
Is 3 metal roosters worth 1 big, large rainbow rooster?
I mean, like,
did you come out on top on that deal?
Splitting property. Well, I don't know. I did because it looks really. They look perfect right where they are, and the metal one, the big one with all the colors, looks perfect right where it is. Yep.
Perfection on both sides.
I think so. And that's the thing about the art, and I've been saying this, like, part of it is I want to live. I still don't have a couch. My goal before Wednesday is to have a couch in that living room because some of my divorce club ladies are coming over to check out the Dollhouse, and it would be nice if we could have a couch to sit on. Yeah. So it's kind of my goal.
You've got to figure that out because all those ladies need a place to sit.
I think we do, yeah. And probably a chair. But other than that, I mean, the thing is that being forced to take it slowly because I had such a busy week at work, which we knew. I mean, for a year I have known this was going to be a busy week. In a way, being forced to take it slow is kind of good because I am not doing what I usually do, like just nailing stuff up and making kind of rash decisions.
Sure, you get to think about it a little, and you get to be intentional about it.
Yeah, and being just very intentional about what artwork I keep, and then looking at things and going, I mean, I like that a lot, but I don't know that I want it hanging in my
You're going to have an art sale soon?
I don't know.
It sounds like you got things to get rid of.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Yeah, no, I don't know if anybody would want it. It's just funny. Probably just it'll go back to the homesteader.
You can make an eBay store like John Roderick.
Yeah. I don't want to make an eBay store because I don't like shipping things.
I get a lot of satisfaction out of shipping something.
You do?
Yep. I like
we
taping
should go
the
into
box
business together.
I like putting it in there with the packing slip and all the padding.
You like going to the place?
No, I could do without going to the place.
That's my point. Putting a box together and wrapping
I feel like they'll pick it up.
Yeah, they probably will.
I'm sure there's someone screaming at their iPhone right now. Oh my goodness, these idiots don't know how to ship something.
No. I know. It always feels to me like it involves going to a place.
Yeah.
And then I have to talk to the people.
Now that I have a printer, I can make some freaking labels. I can just go online and buy my postage.
Well,
Stamps.com, sponsor.
Yeah. I tried that once. I didn't like it. I don't know. I just don't like shipping.
That's not how we're going to get a sponsor.
No, it's not. I know. I realize that. I don't even want to talk about Stamps.com. I have a bad feeling about that. How is your printer?
My printer's great.
My printer's not hooked up yet. Just a note, I did have to go buy one more dongle in order to get my Wi-Fi set up in my home. Just that's all I'm going to say about that. Is that lamp new behind you?
Nope.
It's always been there?
I've had that lamp for since I've known Delaney.
I really like it, and it would fit in my living room.
It's good. It's good. It's got like different modes on it. It's got like LED style stuff. So I don't think it burns out, and it's really bright when you need it to be, and less bright when you don't.
Yesterday, I bought some solar floodlights that are, embedded.
Do those work well?
I don't know yet. And I haven't had them out today soaking up the sunlight, but we'll check it out this weekend because it's going to be sunny. Yay. They look like rocks. You've seen those ones? They look like rocks in your garden. And then they actually have built, I don't know why.
You're talking about me being a fraud because I use my middle name.
Yeah.
You're talking about a floodlight masquerading as a rock.
It's bizarre to me. And yeah, you're right. It's weird. And I don't know why. I also got just the ones that are like stick in the ground solar lights, along path lighters.
Yeah.
But for some reason, those little fake rocks, I don't know. I bought them and I haven't tried them out yet. And I don't know where I'm going to put them. Point being, I can use more and more floodlights all the time in that place because it's a sketchy neighborhood. And so, I mean, anything can happen in any neighborhood, but to be wise and prudent, we keep everything lit up there. I'm having the security system come on Monday.
Because it's going to be just like the Seinfeld episode where the chicken store goes in next door to Kramer, and it just the searing red lights.
I'm on no sleep, Jerry. No sleep. Because I know. That's it. We're Las Vegas on our block, and the neighbors are going to have to put up with it. I don't know. That's all. We need some lights. I can't wait to feel really moved in. Do you ever, though? I don't know. Like you said, it's constant maintenance. It's
a pain. But I think certainly in the early days, you do get a lot of satisfaction in going through and saying, you know what? I took out the garbage, and you've got a nice thing where all that garbage is your garbage, right?
Yeah.
If there's something to be done, you can make the conscious decision to do it or not do it, and you don't have to.
That is true. And having
yours.
That's right. And having the boxes lying around, and Tal has been saying that too, because he's been doing some major home improvements there, which, good for him. It was good for him to get my crap out of his house. He's been storing it for me and mostly leaving paintings on the wall and stuff just to see what I was going to take. And we have both talked about how it's kind of cool to have, you can leave the boxes in the living room and not, this is where I am right now, and I'm the only one who cares. Yeah. I've realized that for the past 6 months about living alone. That's one of the good things is I can leave. Okay, 2 good things about that. 1, I can leave the mess and nobody is bothered by it. 2, if something is missing, which it often is in my life, I know it's in that house. You know what I mean? I know nobody picked up that key or that whatever. I know that if I had it in this house last night, it's still there because nobody has touched my stuff. That's a good feeling. For now, it's a good feeling. I was talking yesterday with my new neighbor friend, and she was saying sometimes at age 79, after a lifetime of really caring, and especially past few years really caring for a lot of sick people, she says sometimes she gets a little bit lonely, but then she just realizes, but it's just really nice that I only have to take care of me. So that's how I'm feeling for right now, too. So that's nice. Yeah, I can't wait to kind of things thaw again, and then you guys will come up on the motorcycle and we'll explore the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Bring my gun.
Jeez.
Pepper spray.
Gee, yeah.
Ninja stars.
I am 10 blocks away from some very cool stuff, as we have talked about, that you and your girlfriend will think is cool.
What's over there? I guess you can't say for OPSEC reasons.
Right. Good restaurant situation, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Pretty close. Concert venues, as we have discussed. And also, probably, honestly, we should explore, I think there's some good Ethiopian food. I think there's some good, there's a, maybe even Honduran restaurant right there.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Honduran food is not good.
I know. I was just thinking, we closed our episode recently on your experience there.
I actually, one of the cultural things that I'm still processing 2+ years after my trip to Honduras is they are extremely particular about the things they eat. They're not adventurous eaters. They like to eat the thing they've always eaten, which hasn't changed. Their grandpa ate it, their great-grandpa ate it, that sort of thing. And they call them Baleadas. And this is the main dish of Honduras, and every restaurant has some form of it. Street food is Baleadas. Fancy food is Baleadas, and it's basically a thick tortilla. It's a little bit thicker than the tortillas that we know, smeared in some kind of beans, whether it's like a refried black bean or something like that. And that's all it is. It's just beans in a tortilla. It's maybe a little cheese, but in general, it's not spicy like a Mexican food. It's just a bland, probably super nourishing, kind of calorically dense food that's not particularly tasty. Super inexpensive, and they love that. If you offer them something exotic to them, they seem to have no interest in it. They just want the Baleadas, which to me are like that's so dull and unexciting. But for them, that's safety, that's comfort. It's a lot of different things that I just didn't understand and couldn't wrap my head around.
I don't know if we've talked about this, but I think when you grow up with food, and especially when it's regional, and then it's your food from childhood, there is a certain connection to it. It might not be actually delicious. And then, this is
part of it's just the memory.
And I have experienced this, going to Maui with my family and being like, wait until you try, whatever. And they're like, I think maybe this is an issue of memory because poi is not good. And that's my other point is that almost every culture has a flatbread situation and a very bland thing, starchy thing that is oh no to them, delicious to them, and tastes just so bland and weird to other people, right? So I think a lot of foods are like that. For me, my childhood food on Maui, although I don't care who you are, gas station Musubi sushi is amazing. Spam sushi.
I love Musubi.
So good. But I also experienced that going to South Dakota with Tao. And, I always said we would tour South Dakota, his hometown, like some people tour the south of France, like a gastronomic tour. We would go to Pizza King and George's Pizza and Taco Time. And, it was all this, just bad food. But, he had to make the tour every time he was there. And it was memory food. It was, you can't get this anywhere else. I'm like, but you wouldn't want it. But it's your childhood food. So, yeah, that's funny. But probably there are just cultures that are not adventurous eaters.
I suspect that in a place where there are creeping things in the forest that can kill you, I suspect that it probably pays to not be that adventurous in the things you put in your mouth.
Yeah, no kidding. That's interesting, isn't it? I know that in France, well, I don't know this. I read this in a book.
You can't trust books.
I know. Bringing Up Bebe was the book, and it was a parenting book that I read as part of research for my book on parenting. It's about raising a baby as an American in France. And one of the things that I found so fascinating is that there is a state, national, controlled, whatever, food, something. It's part of their school. It would be like school lunch. But they have all of these chefs very consciously and very carefully discussing. They meet about it. They talk about what foods will we serve to the children in schools, preschools and schools. And they take it very seriously. Now is the time a 2-year-old must be introduced to the taste of prunes and anchovies. And now is the time because we want them to have these lovely palates that expand and, and this mother, she's writing a little bit critically about American parenting, but she's so, I didn't feel that at all. She was very careful. But there are a lot of American kids who eat buttered noodles, goldfish crackers, and that's it. Toast, they get this bland taste palate, and you see it a lot. Kids are kind of allowed to eat that way.
A ton of picky eaters, and I was not raised that way. I was part of a finish everything on your plate household, or you can't leave the table.
You have to take a thank you bite, even if it's something that you don't really like, because the cook made it for you, Andrew.
Yeah, in grade school we called it a no thank you bite, and the mother who was responsible for dismissing you to empty your tray, she would watch you take the no thank you bite.
At school? Oh, how cute. Oh, that's funny. I kind of like that. I kind of like letting babies figure out what they like. It's kind of cute, too, because it's comedy to give a baby a lemon, like a 9-month-old baby. It was so funny because they want it, and they just pucker up their little faces, and sometimes they cry, but not usually. They just don't like it. But then to watch a baby, I remember watching our little grandniece eating, I think, pickled herring.
Oh, yeah?
At New Year's Eve, we have it because we're Scandinavian, and just eating that. Her mother would no sooner eat pickled herring than, dirt off the street. And she was just horrified. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. She doesn't know it's not delicious, because it is. Expanding your horizons and your taste palette. So yeah, in France, that appears to be of national concern to develop an extensive palate. Well, of course, the French are very into their food. We're going to hear all about it in a few days here when Augie gets home.
You're going to hear more about it than you care to hear about it.
Probably, although you know what? I think that kid's really excited to be home and be around people who talk English, where it's just a little bit easier for his brain. The mental energy of being in a place like that. I mean, he is with his girlfriend and family, her family who can speak English. But for 6 months, he's been commuting to school and taking classes all in French and living in France, and the mental, psychic energy that takes is so intense, and he doesn't appreciate it, what he's just done. In fact, they just went to London last week, and I suspect it was a great relief to just be around English speakers.
I remember, I didn't even spend that long in the Czech Republic. I was only there for 3 months, but when I went to London, we were always doing this dance. We didn't pay for data in our cell phones because it was still expensive, so we weren't able to Google things and look for maps on the cell phone or whatever. So we were still kind of reliant on looking at signs and figuring out where we're going, maybe planning the route before you leave the hotel, that sort of thing. And in Hungary, it's just a mess and difficult to understand and that sort of thing. And then I remember getting off the plane at Gatwick Airport, which is kind of the lesser airport in London, and looking at the signs and seeing the words that I understood and could read and knowing exactly where I needed to go and being confident that I was headed in the right direction. And it was such a relief. It was a huge thing. And there's the guy there who's greeting you and welcoming you to this new city or whatever, and he's speaking English. And it was just so comforting and nice. It was like a warm hug from a place.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that funny? I mean, we went to Paris. Kim and I went to Paris last spring partly to see Augie. He came and saw us for a little bit, and just to be in France. We had a wonderful time. And it's Paris, first of all. Everybody speaks English, but there is always this not sure what the sign says. And I know a little French, but, just not being sure. And the anxiety is not right for me because I don't care as much as Augie does. I mean, Augie he doesn't want to embarrass himself, and he doesn't want to be disrespectful. He wants to speak French. And I had no problem going in, bonjour, do you speak English? I'm so sorry. Thank you for speaking my language in your country. I mean, I would say that every time. But just there is a little bit of anxiety, right? Of like, I'm not sure what I just ordered. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. And and Augie has very much said this as well, then you think about the people who are not on vacation in this country, who are making a living here, who are here for a lot of awful reasons often, and that's their life. Like, come here and don't even speak the language. I mean, Augie has said it gives him respect for, he and his brother went to high school with a lot of refugee kids. And just to see, like, how hard those kids take the public bus to school every day, Mm-hmm. And everything is just, gosh, what a psychic drain on your brain, the anxiety of that. But you get fluent pretty fast when you really have to.
I think it gives you a lot of tools to handle uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, right.
I think that's a common theme among people who travel is they figure it out.
Yeah, you kind of get over your, and then you know that you can, and then you get over your anxiety about being a jerk, and then I think it also helps us be more generous and
sure.
kind to people.
You can appreciate you can empathize with them.
And people who are traveling or stranded or can't communicate to you very well, helping them. I mean, I'm just remembering one of our neighbors' friends said to Augie before he left for France the first time, there are travel angels everywhere, and when you get into trouble, just know there will be people who will help you. Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
I was watching, I love the whole adventure motorcycling thing, and there is a surprising number of people who go around the world on their motorcycles and filmed it and now have a film on Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yes. There's a whole subgenre of this thing.
Really?
And you would not believe how many there are. But this is a guy, and he set out around the world from Germany with his buddy. His buddy left him, shortly after they got into Africa. But he is going through war zones, I think in Iran, and then Pakistan is really bad. Just before he gets there, there's a French journalist that was killed, and it's a very contentious thing going on at this particular time. And he makes his plans, and he's gonna get through there in 4 days because he absolutely needs to go through Pakistan to get to India.
Jeez.
And day 2, his bike breaks down, and he winds up being in this war zone for 6 weeks as they find a new part for his motorcycle. And people took him in, they took care of him, and he was totally vulnerable, and people helped him out.
What's the name of this movie?
I have to look it up. It'll be in the show notes. It's like A New Place Tomorrow
And can you tell me about this genre of who? He's there with a film crew?
I think this is self-filmed. I think it was one guy on a motorcycle, yeah.
Is it good?
It's interesting. I think you've got to be interested in this sort of thing in order to like it.
Yeah.
It's not universally appealing.
Huh.
But I love the idea of going around the world on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I bet you do. I know you do. You gonna do it?
I doubt it.
Really?
I may piece together a lot of small trips, but I don't think I would ever take a year off and go around the world on my motorcycle.
That seems a little bit really over the top and not in your wheelhouse. But maybe I could see you taking a year off.
I could totally.
I could see you doing that. Actually,
right now I'm trying to figure out this work-life balance of being a freelancer.
Yep.
And fortunately, I'm lucky that there's more work than I have hours in the day for.
I'm really proud of you about that, by the way. I was telling somebody recently about how you were making your living by being a freelancer. It's pretty cool, Andrew.
I enjoy it. I love it. It's my favorite thing. My biggest issue is that I often work too much. I've been putting in 50-hour weeks since the beginning of the year. So we're in it like 11 weeks now.
But it's kind of like having your own house. It's yours.
It's mine.
Doesn't feel like work.
It's a choice that I make, right? I don't have to.
Right.
And that's my natural tendency is to. I love to work. But burnout's going to be an issue. So I've got to figure out a certain way to combat that. And I think you work hard when you feel like it and can manage it and stomach it. And then at a certain point, you've got to take off a month. You've got to take off a week. You've got to take off a whatever. I think,
or schedule that in all the way along the way so that you make sure for burnout. That's really good.
I don't think I'm not the kind of person who gets a huge rise from taking a Friday off every month. I think I like to work, 50, 60 hours a week until I'm ready, and then do a longer trip, a week, 2 weeks.
I was just today sitting there, the university, the kids are going on spring break here pretty soon. And so one of the students who works for me was going to Maui. And I went, oh, gosh, it feels like it's about time to go back to Maui. I haven't been to Maui in forever. I mean, that's really what it felt like. And it's really just been 3 months. And I went, I might have to work that in. Because I went for that short amount of time and it was great. It was like I didn't have time to feel like I lived there, So maybe I need a couple of 5-day trips to Maui every year.
Probably. You get so much more out of being a place for more than a week than you do for being 4 days.
Yeah, but I just said that when you weren't listening. That it was enough though. For 4 to 5 days was enough to just like get a little shot of it. And
but
come back.
You need more than a little shot. You've got to go over there and like on a trip, there's a lot of pressure to do squeeze everything in.
But what I like is when I went for 5 days, it was perfect because there was the pressure to squeeze it in, and you just know you're going ham the whole time. When we were there for 2 weeks the time before, it was a little bit. I don't know. It was amazing, and I wish I could do that all the time. The problem for me was, seriously, I got the actual tropical vacation depression when I got home because I felt like I lived there. You live there for 2 weeks, you know what I mean? You get to know the guy at the coffee shop, you buy your groceries, and you feel like you live on Maui, and then you come back and it's cold and you don't live on Maui. I got really I think 2 weeks makes me feel like
Makes you feel worse?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, obviously, I'll take a 2-week vacation to Maui anytime I can. But for me, I'm just thinking for the next couple of years, it might be worth it to go, no, even just a few quick shots throughout the year might be better for me than taking a whole month off at some point. Also, I have to take a week next week of my vacation to unpack boxes and go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm going to buy a new toilet, Andrew, because that toilet is too big.
It's too big.
Yeah, we talked about this, that my bathroom is really not comfortable for anyone bigger than me, but part of it has that elongated bowl, the toilet does. Also, I think it's a crappy toilet because it clogs, and I know my sewer pipe is fresh as a daisy, so I think it's a bad toilet. But it ADA now, that's an ADA thing, the elongated bowl shape toilet seat, and you can get like a low footprint Of course, the Japanese make them. Right, I'm going to get a low footprint toilet, and it'll feel fine, and I'll get a little bit more room. Nothing wrong with that. Why is that funny?
I think when I was in middle school, high school, my parents got a wild hair, and there were some tax incentives for having high efficiency toilets, and they just went and replaced all the toilets in the house. And I remember being at Home Depot looking at like the toilet demos, and there's like you can flush a tennis ball down this toilet and that sort of thing.
Oh, funny.
You got to go do that. You got to go try out all the toilets.
I've been looking online a little bit, but yeah, I got to go to Home Depot. I almost went yesterday, and I was just too tired. It's so overwhelming at Home Depot. You also said that you could install toilets. You've done many of that.
I have. My
it.
grandfather's a landlord.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of small plumbing tasks.
So bring it over to my house, man. You just said you're useless in the electrical field. Fine, I don't need you for that. Put it in my toilet. I won't make you do
I also said I work 50 hours a week, so you're just going to have to schedule it.
You also have the lovely feature now in your life where you can go, bad weather, I don't have a car. Everybody has to come to me.
That's right.
Bro.
We could have actually recorded in the Dollhouse today because I think the roads are clear enough.
Yeah, today they are, but yesterday they weren't. And so it was a matter of...
Yeah, but you canceled yesterday anyway.
I know, because Kiln Guy was coming. If you could have come to the Dollhouse, we could have done both. If we were at the Dollhouse recording as scheduled, he could have gone out there and done his thing, put in those elements. But Andrew, now you have that nice little... That's kind of it's a nice thing to have in your back pocket. Sorry, can't do it. I don't have a car. I ripping that back seat out of my cube again, and I love being able to say I can't drive anybody anywhere. I don't have a back seat. Just isn't possible. I thought I was gonna take it out this weekend, but I guess there's no rush. I can't wait to have the cargo cube back.
You got some stuff to haul?
No, just in general. I liked it, and it made me sad that I didn't have it. But now I have a place to store the back seat. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. I don't really have that much room in my... I probably do. I got a nice garage. Garage door. There's a lot of things. Do you have any other things that we're supposed to follow up on or think about?
I don't think so. Nothing in particular.
You guys still on your project of making friends?
Still making friends. Going out with a couple tomorrow night. It's the same couple we've been seeing.
What are you doing?
Just going to dinner. But this couple, they're having a baby. So we've got to squeeze these double dates in before they're totally consumed by parenthood.
Oh, yeah.
And
but then you get to hold their baby.
Yeah, well, maybe.
The baby can still come around.
I haven't held a baby probably in 10 years. Maybe I've never held a baby.
Really? Is that right?
I always kind of shy away from it. I feel like I'm not particularly clumsy, but I don't want to be the person who drops the baby.
You can't break a baby. I was just telling... No, you can't.
I'm good at everything.
There is a guy at work who's having a baby here within 2 weeks, or a month. And I was just telling him today, because he also has not really been around babies, and I did say to him today, I came in with an important piece of advice, and it was, you can't break that baby. You can't.
Sounds like a challenge.
No.
You shake it like a MacBook.
You can break its soul, but you can barely break a baby. Oh, yeah, you've never changed a diaper?
I've never changed a diaper.
Oh, funny. Weird.
I don't have babies in my life.
No, you don't. I always just grew up with so many cousins.
It's not that there were a million opportunities and I always said, no, I won't change that diaper. It's just that there hasn't been an opportunity.
Yeah. No, I know. I understand that. It's just funny because I was around it so much. I think my boys have both changed diapers, but not a ton of it either. But we had that one little real special baby around. And George is her godfather. So that's sad that you haven't held a baby in 10 years. It makes my heart ache how much I want to hold a baby right now. I wish there's a baby just lying here.
I'm sure Whiskers would like to be held.
Don't want to hold Whiskers. He's not wearing his suit. I can't even look at him.
That's rude.
It's gross.
Where's your sympathy?
I don't have very much compassion for animals. I think we've made that clear. Oh, okay, so you're making friends. They're having a baby.
I'm making friends. And this guy, he's super cool. He's a flight instructor.
Oh, cool.
He teaches people to be pilots.
Neat.
And that scratches an itch that I've had for a super long time.
I was just going to say, I bet you have.
And I would love right now to take advantage of this relationship and become a pilot. And I don't think that I have the time and money to dedicate to it. And there's nothing more frustrating than having that perfect opportunity and not being able to seize it.
Oh.
So I'm I need to figure that out, and I need to figure out how to make it work because I really want to become a pilot.
You do?
I do.
Cool. Wouldn't that be neat?
That'd be so cool. We can fly to
Then you
the
can take a
Dollhouse
month
on
off and
Shakedown
just
Street.
yeah, you fly all over the world. You don't need a motorcycle. That's cool. All right, so you're making friends and they've got benefits.
That's right.
That's awesome.
They could have benefits. I mean,
Yeah.
there is a benefit to just having something to do on the weekend and see some people that aren't whiskers.
Or me.
Or you, yeah, absolutely. I wasn't going to go there, but for sure.
Yeah, I know. Kind of a ripoff for me. That's all right. I just want to be alone, putting my crap on my walls. I ordered a piece of art last night for my house. In the midst of like saying I'm going to get rid of so many things, it became clear to me that in my bedroom I needed 2 squares, and I had some photos that I took in Paris. Mm-hmm. Close-up photos of details of the columns at Notre Dame, and I had those printed at wherever, and they're going to be here next week.
That's something you and I are totally different on. If you look around this apartment right now, you will not see a single piece of art. Nope. And I just couldn't care less. I don't want to spend any money on that.
I know. It's totally different. And neither does Delaney. No, I
think
can't.
Also, living in an apartment, we may both be a little hesitant to buy something that's perfect for this place because we know we won't be here forever.
Yeah, and you don't have any compulsion. I mean, one of the things that is an issue right now with the artwork is that I purchased a kind of expensive piece of artwork for myself.
A big piece of art.
A big piece of art that
for your
doesn't
tiny little house.
fit there. Not really. But that's where that is putting my priorities. I am up to my knees in boxes. Kiln is already set up in the garage. Artwork is sitting there. I mean, no couch, no nothing, but we're basically building Kim, but when I say we, my new spouse in the house, we're basically building the living room furniture choices around the artwork. Mm-hmm. So you don't have any amount of that. You would not ever see a piece of artwork and go, this must be mine, I want to have that.
Nope.
And I will build my living room around this someday. I mean, I wonder what will happen when you buy a house that you want to live in and want to decorate. And, as a grown-up, sort of, this is our house. I wonder how you'll handle, you'll certainly get something on your walls.
I'm sure.
I just wonder how that will go. We'll find out.
It's gonna be on Delaney to either have art or not have art because I don't think that I'll ever do it.
It's weird to me because you kind of appreciate it.
I do appreciate it.
You
but
appreciate beautiful things.
I also don't like having things.
You really don't. You'll probably take your pictures and print them out for yourself like you've done for family members.
That's the thing, is at Christmas I gave everyone prints of my pictures, and it was nice because I didn't have to have them, but I got to see them around.
Yeah, you just really don't like any things. It's weird. I like things around me. I love crap. I mean, I've been at Bed Bath & Beyond buying organizers. I bought a hamper.
Do you think that I'm unique among my peers and that I don't like crap, or do you think that is a generational thing? Do you think your generation prefers to surround themselves with things where mine is less so?
I don't know.
Do you think that we're unique among our peers?
Not really. I've seen some wedding registries, if you know what I'm saying. No, I think it's personal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not generational.
I can't imagine. There are certainly people my age who live like this, like minimalists, truly, right? That's a choice. But it's just interesting to me because I get captivated by a piece of art in Honduras. There's no way I would not come back from a place like that with a piece of folk art, I want it. I mean, I have to put my hands in my pockets at museums and sometimes squeeze something if the museum is making me real sweaty because it's really inspirational to see this actual
got the inspiration sweats.
Yes. Yeah. I have to physically grasp something so that I don't touch the art. I want it and you don't because you are a detached Buddha. That's how it is. I think that's what it is. As always, it always comes down to that. Andrew's just smarter than the rest of us.
I don't know about that.
Andrew's just
different. He's just different.
More mature, more detached. It's all good. You're really liking your new friends?
I am.
You'll be doing podcasts with those friends, Andrew?
Could we do a podcast with them?
Are you going to be doing that? Is that the kind of friendship you're building right now?
The kinds of friends you would do a podcast with? Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, all right. Just wondering what that looks like for you.
You're getting anxious. You're getting nervous that someone's gonna horn in on your
Correct. They're going to
podcast action.
It's all very tenuous.
Now that you've moved so far away,
I know. And you have a motorcycle, so you can't even.
This is it's becoming a burden, and I don't know that I can maintain this relationship anymore.
Oh, that's sad. Dude, that's not even funny because when I was looking at a place, it felt a million miles away. Right? I really had that.
It is a million miles away.
No, it's not. It's further.
It is further.
But I mean, it's not that far away. And I am about equidistant to my target, But my point is, I really had that fear, like, no one is ever going to come up here. No one's going to ever come up here.
Well, the last place was so handy because it was right off the interstate that I live on. That's right. Hop, skip.
It was a pop-in house. Mm-hmm. It was also close to your university where you lived and all of that.
Yeah.
No, I know. It was a pop-in house. However, like you discovered a destination, motorcycle ride Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
If I had time for brunch that day, there are some, we're going to do that. You guys go out on your motorcycle ride and we'll meet for brunch in my hood. As I have said, am maybe happy that I don't have such a pop-in house anymore. But yeah, I was seriously worried, like, no one's going to be my friend anymore. No one comes out here. But you guys even helped me.
You've got new friends. You've got your lady next door.
I know. But you guys actually pointed out that, like, your parents even kind of go up that neighborhood for certain reasons of fun things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So probably you'll be fine. And
I think your place is only going to get more and more exciting as Denver pushes out further and further.
100%, because the nudie bars are going away.
It's not that far from where it's all happening.
No. It, in fact, feels quite like the center of some things. That's why I got in a bidding war for the Dollhouse, right? With 5 people, full price offers within 24 hours. Mm-hmm. That's crazy for a little house like that.
It's insane.
Anyway, it's an interesting neighborhood, and that's my point, is having my nice little neighbor lady who has seen it for 79 years. That's a historic Denver. Gosh, I gotta have to interview her. That's a treasure. And watching a neighborhood, and she's said this neighborhood has its ups and downs, and right now it's pretty good. I mean, it's getting better for sure. And a lot of the sketchy things that are close by are definitely shutting down. And I'm telling you, it's probably going to just be all coffee shops and whiskey distilleries, and pretty soon I'm going to be annoyed by it, by the hipsters.
I got a question for you.
Right.
You talk about having a shut-down nudie bar not that far away. Mm-hmm. Is it better? Let's just think from the perspective of home values. Mm-hmm. Is it better to have a operating nudie bar where all the windows are whole and intact, or a shut-down nudie bar where there might be some broken windows?
Well, I think in this case, I chose shut down because that is a sign that either they couldn't afford their rent there, or because of reasons, that neighborhood is popping.
Right. You've got the expectation that shut down nudie bar won't be a shut down nudie bar for long.
Yeah, and that not another strip club is going to come in and reno. They're going to scrape it. Bar? Yeah. Right. Yeah, it does feel like that. So I would prefer that. But I mean, in general, living in a city, shutdown is not good because that's sketchy, and vacant is not good. Dark is not good. That's one of the things I like, is that the neighborhood feels there. I am on a thoroughfare street. I mean, I'm 2 houses down from it, and it doesn't hurt my feelings that at night I can hear cars going by. I would rather feel amongst the busy than isolated. Mm-hmm. I am more scared, if everything's super quiet and far away, I feel more frightened. My mom, it was cute. I was telling her, she was, when I first started looking at these houses in these crappy neighborhoods, she was just kind of like, oh God, I don't know why you can't just move out here to the suburb. Really, move closer to us, you can get so much more house. You can get so much more. And, as we've talked about, but then I'm going to have to mow my lawn and have covenant controls or whatever. But obviously I could have found something. And I said, I don't know why, Mom, I know it doesn't make sense to you guys. I just like being near the crap. I like being urban as much as, I was a country girl and I enjoy wide open spaces and all that, but I like being near the crap. And my mom just went, I know. And it was really compassionate. She wasn't judging or arguing anymore. She was like, okay, 50-year-old, I guess you probably know what you want. Yeah. I made that decision about how to, we kind of skipped over how the decision was made in our program here, but I didn't know, and we can hear us talking about it for these weeks. Should I move into your building. Should I get an apartment? Should I, whatever? And then, like a flash of lightning, I went, nope, I know what I want. And it was all about outbuildings and kilns. And I'm telling you, it's cute, right? You saw it?
It is cute.
So cute.
It's tiny.
Tiny.
But I think it's perfect.
It's the same size you have, and you have 2 people and a cat here.
That's true.
I feel like our kitchens are kind of similar.
Yeah, the open floor plan is all the rage right now.
Yep.
There's an article, I didn't finish it because I got bored, but there is in the New York Times, I think it was about how open floor plans are bullshit and that people put walls in for a reason. And it's an interesting concept. I probably should have read it.
I listen to a lot of, 99% Invisible is up in that kind of space.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched movies, but I've been listening to a lot of cool podcasts. But even 22 years ago, when I moved into Tal's townhome that he had at the time, it was that open floor plan concept, and they called it the great room. That was always the great room, and then the kitchen. And my line was always, it's a okay room. It's not that great. And I wasn't a fan. I did not know what to do with open floor plan like that. Mm-hmm. Then I lived in a 1950s house that was not an open floor plan at all. And it felt very, obviously in that house, we should knock down some walls and open up the kitchen so that when we have a party, we can all talk to each other across the, kitchen. And so I wanted more of that. And, so kind of, split the difference. But you didn't like that article. You got bored by the article about why great rooms are kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about workspaces like that? That's the kind of workspace you had where everybody's just out in the...
Oh, my goodness. Right now I'm in an open workspace, but I only have to share it with a cat.
You and the whispers.
I cannot stand an open workspace when you have to share it with people. Everyone's, they're singing along to the Sonos. They're having loud conversations on the phone.
They are?
Oh, yes. It's miserable.
I think we brought some ruckus, and I think we've recorded for long enough, don't you?
I know we did. We always do.
I know, but I feel so tired. Oh.
Classic Mrs. Filholm. She's always unsure about whether we brought the ruckus.
Classic. Well, thank you. It's been a very resentful day. We both agreed that we resent each other, and that's the secret sauce.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Bye.
Filholm.